Good morning everyone. Good morning sa inyong tanan. Today is we are going to my appointment, health appointment. We're gonna have a smear test screening done. I've been putting it up for so long, and now it's about time to have it done really. I have been feeling this stabbing knife kind of pain inside inside my genital area, and it's that kind of pain when you are pregnant and your cervix is dilating. It's really debilitating when it happens. So I went to see a GP last month, and he suggested actually to have it done just to rule out any possibilities. So hopefully, fingers crossed, all goes well today. I am not nervous, but I am usually like that, you know. I get nervous right on the spot. So hopefully I'll be alright. Well, I'm gonna ask Tony to stay with me anyway, to stay in the room. Yeah, so guys, for those who, especially women, na hindi lang minamind yung smear test screening, please don't wait for so long to have it done. Do it whenever you can, kasi ano yan eh, it's like a life saving. So if there's some abnormalities inside you, the earliest time it can be diagnosed, the better, because the quicker that treatment. Does that make sense? Special pill just to manage the pain, because they reckon it's like what I'm experiencing is endometriosis. But I'm still getting that pain, although not as full on pain, but you can still feel it tingling, you know. It's that pain is there, but it cannot be like full on painful. If it's hard to explain, but for all those who are suffering that kind of pain, you can relate to what I felt that kind of pain when I was pregnant back in the days. I was like 3-4 months pregnant with my son, and I felt a shooting pain then, like pain. It's the knife stabbing pain. So I went to the OB-GYN at that time. Oh my god, that was, how long ago was that? 12 years ago. And she said like it's my cervix contracting. So for being pregnant for 3 to 4 months, it's quite early for my cervix to dilate. So what she did is she put me on a special tablet to keep the baby hold and to sort of stop the dilation rather, and put me on bed rest for the rest of my pregnancy. So yeah, and then I gave birth, and after few years, I think maybe a year or two, I felt that kind of pain again, but for a short period. And then when I came over here 7-8 years ago, it started again. And then early this year, I've been having it sort of like regularly, so it kind of worries me now. So I said to Tony, it's really about time for me to have it done. The only reason being why I have put it off for so long is I'm scared what the result's gonna be. But I have come to conclusions that it's better to do it and take it as what it comes, you know, and to sort the issue out. Yeah, and then last month I was so like poorly at work, to reach such a point like I couldn't even move, you know, because the more you move, the painful it gets, and if you even sit down, the painful it gets. So I have to like breathe calmly and to sort of like manage. That's how I learned to manage that. But before, it only lasted like for a few minutes, but lately it's been going on for like half an hour. So it's kind of... Hi guys, it's done. The smear test is done, so I've got to wait for the result. The nurse said it's gonna be 8 weeks, but usually it's only takes 2 weeks, so I don't know which one it is, but we'll just wait and see. They're gonna post the result to our address, so fingers crossed it's gonna be alright, because she said if it comes back positive, then they're gonna do a full-on treatment. Book me for an appointment for treatment. The smear test, the smear is all about screening for HPV, so I'm really hoping that it's not that. I'd rather have the endometriosis than that, to be honest with you. Yeah, so right now I'm eating McDonald's for breakfast. Naughty.
Very good.
Very healthy. Just kidding, it's not healthy at all. Yeah, I didn't have breakfast yet, and it's 10:50, so it's sort of like 10:50 a.m. here, so it's
Brunch.
sort of like brunch, breakfast and lunch all together. Yeah, Tony is driving up. Hi Tony.
Hello.
Hi guys, we're back home now after the screening this morning. Yeah, just relaxing in the lounge. Yeah, that test itself, but this one seems to be a bit weird in a way, like it's quite sore. Now I'm just waiting for the results, and waiting for my next appointment with a consultant next month to see what's really going on inside me, why am I getting this pain, and what's gonna be the treatment. Actually guys, back to the smear test. If it comes back positive, if they find abnormal cells, then they're gonna start the treatment. If they haven't, then they will put you again on, like, yeah, it's here. I will read it out to you, okay? Looking for HPV as the first test on screening samples is currently being introduced into the NHS cervical screening program. You may hear it being called HPV primary screening. It helps us to more quickly identify who may need treatment and who can simply be called back for screening in 3 or 5 years' time. So yeah, if it comes back negative, then you wouldn't have to worry about it until you receive a letter in the next 3 or 5 years' time. But if it does come back positive, then they're gonna send you a letter for further treatment and advise you on what needs to be done. It's actually one way of finding out whether, I think it's for really like screening for cervical cancer. So yeah, here, screening results. There are three main types of results from HPV primary screening. No HPV found, that means you're negative. If no HPV is found, then no further tests will be done. If you don't have HPV, it is highly unlikely that you will have any abnormal cervical cells. Even if you did, it would be extremely unlikely that they would cause a problem. You will simply be called back for screening again in 3 or 5 years' time, depending on your age. HPV found, that means HPV positive, but no abnormal cervical cells found. If HPV is found, the sample will also be tested for abnormal cervical cells. If none are found, your result will say you have HPV but no abnormal cells. You will be asked to come back for screening again in 12 months' time. This is so we can check that the HPV has been cleared by your immune system. This happens in most cases. If it hasn't cleared, you may be at greater risk of developing abnormal cervical cells. HPV found, HPV positive, and abnormal cervical cells found. There are several grades of abnormal cervical cells. Your result letter will explain what your results mean. If you have HPV and any grade of abnormal cervical cells, then you will be referred for colposcopy. Colposcopy is a closer examination of the cervix. It is carried out in a similar way to cervical screening. If you are invited for colposcopy, you will be sent our leaflet, NHS Cervical Screening, the colposcopy examination. It is also possible to have an inadequate result. This may be due to a technical problem, such as if the laboratory cannot get a HPV test result from your sample or cannot see if abnormal cells are present or not. If you have an inadequate result, you may be asked to have cervical screening again in 3 months' time. Oh my God. We wait so that there are enough cells again to get a sample from. Can HPV be treated? No, there isn't a treatment to get rid of the virus. For most women, their immune system will get rid of HPV, like getting rid of a common cold, but we can't treat abnormal cervical cells, especially if they are found early on. Early treatment means that cervical cancer can be prevented. Where can I get more information? If you would like more information about HPV primary screening or anything else, you can talk to your nurse or GP practice or visit the link www.gov.uk/government/cervical-screening-information-leaflets. Yeah, so there you go. Don't worry, I will take a screenshot of this and put it at the end of the video, so whoever didn't catch how I read it, then you can have a look and have a read for yourself. This leaflet is only for UK, yeah, NHS UK, but at least for people who are curious about cervical screening and HPV testing, you can also have a read. It's really there's a lot of information, especially for women, you know. Health is really very, very important for all of us ladies.